right.
What's going on, Dad?
We're back.
I know, right?
I feel like it's been a while.
So what is it? It's May...
2nd? 3rd?
It's May
3rd. 3rd.
We just got back from the Korean car show.
Caribbean Car Show, yes.
And vibes, food, amazing food.
Fantastic food, amazing food.
Sound.
Lots of audio.
Lots of audio.
Lots of audio. I'm glad to see that they were able to allow people to let it go.
Yes.
Right? That's always nice.
You don't see as much sort of audio being played at a lot of the car shows.
No,
whereas like the Caribbean car show, a lot of the sort of like Caribbean people, and they like the music.
The music's a huge part of the culture.
And the vibes. And you'll notice that whenever there's really nice events, the music is there. So naturally, sound systems.
Yeah.
Right?
Huge. It was a huge part of it.
Being played. What are those big sound systems for our viewers? What are those big sound systems called that it's like a huge van with a lot of speakers, and they have that control unit? What is that?
So the control unit on the outside of things is because like the whole culture is around the party outside of the vehicle. You don't want to be inside the car sitting there trying to control things. You want to be outside where everything's happening.
So literally it's like a control module to control the audio system outside of it.
Yeah, essentially they take the head unit and
the
extend it.
head unit is in the control, right?
It's in the controller, that's all it is. So used to do that big, like in like the DB drag racing days, because when you were putting a CD in at high volumes, the CD would skip because of how much pressure there was. It was doing this. So the CD
while
would
you were
skip.
inside the car.
So you couldn't have it inside.
Okay,
So you had to move it outside so that you could actually play it. So that's where, like, from my personal experience, that's where that all started, is you just had a long cord that you'd play your head unit outside the car, and whatever was happening in the car didn't matter. Well, from what I know anyways, and I'm not Caribbean, but the party's outside. Why would you be sitting in the car when everything's happening behind you? So they're out there so they can listen to it. They can fine tune things that they need to, volume up, volume down, depending on songs, depending on vibes, right? It's just an easy way of doing it. Depending on how you control your system, some people even just use their phone. If you've got Bluetooth and you've got volume up, volume down, you can just use your phone.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to CDs, they skip because of how much pressure there is and how much things vibrate.
So if you guys go to an event and then you see a big sort of like a sound system van, in this case it was an Atlas that they had.
They had an Atlas, there was
SUVs,
trucks,
right?
there was cars, there's boxes on top of them. Like everything.
And you see a cable that goes down to like a control unit. Pay attention and kind of get involved, and you'll see that there's an actual deck in there, an old school CD deck. Or if you're playing, I guess when you're saying with Bluetooth, like an MP3 player.
You've got some more options nowadays.
But I think a lot of people want to have that CD deck because it's like cool kind of a factor.
It's also way easier.
Retro, yeah.
Right? Like if you look at some of the vehicles nowadays, to integrate into the factory sound system is tough. You can't move a factory head unit outside of the car
because it's all
built in. Like all of your controls, all your things go through the car. So a lot of them, it's a whole completely separate stereo system. It doesn't use the factory in any way, shape, or form. So now they need some sort of a head unit to be able to control things. So they go buy your singled in radio, build a little box, a little pedestal, all those things. Like the really good guys, like the pedestal is a fully done thing. It's not just like a random head unit that somebody's holding onto, but it's designed to do that.
Yeah, and in some of those pedestals, they have like patterns and they're painted and fiberglass. So just the pedestal itself is also
a work of art. Yeah, it's a work of art sometimes.
A work of art.
Yeah.
With acrylic and stuff.
All kinds of things.
That's
like sky's the limit. And now you also go into like, well, they had to build all these boxes and put them on top of the cars, but then they also have to go back in the car to transport it home. So you also have to think about all of that and how it transports. It's not something I've ever necessarily done myself, but I have a lot of respect for it. There's a lot of thought process that goes into a lot of those.
Yeah. But also at the event, like it was nice where you will see it at like a Caribbean car show. Not necessarily we're pointing out Caribbean, but the Caribbean culture, again, there's a link to it. So there's a reason why you will see it at Caribbean cultures, and even Spanish cultures down in the United States, Puerto Rican cultures and stuff like that. It's all about good food, good music, good people, good vibes. But that's when you see a lot of audio, and it's great to see because you know what, a lot of and not to say that, like, for example, from my personal experience, being a huge stance guy, when it comes to stance, you see a lot of wheels.
Yep.
You see a lot of crazy drop, whether it's static, on washers or suspension. And that's where the, sort of the stereotypical thing is like, oh, it's just dropped with bags and that's a build.
Yep.
You don't see a lot of that. So when you do go to a lot of these events, like for example, the one that we just did, it's cool to see the level of, some basic systems to like far out systems with 300 speakers and subs and
that's what's nice, and that's why like I was really happy to go this year, because like you go to like a regular car show, like let's use some of the big ones, like Import
Cars and
Fest.
Coffee, right?
Even like Import Fest, like huge show. You can't turn anything on. You're inside. You're not allowed to. But it's not a huge part of that culture today. I think it's coming back. I think a lot of people are building cars like we used to back in the day. But it's such a different vibe going here because there's cars that literally their entire build is a stereo system.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not wheels. It's not suspension.
But you have nice wheels and suspension.
Not always.
Go further. No. Priority is the audio.
Priority is audio.
Yes.
And it's nice to see being that's my wheelhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, I'm a stance and suspension guy, but like, let me tell you, we put that Hertz box. In this, thing, and I'm like, when I was a kid, it was all about 212s.
Yep.
I had like an Explode amp, whatever, right? This
it doesn't
is what you
matter.
could afford. You went to Walmart, but you had that oomph.
You have
whether it's dance, trance, house, hip hop. You need to feel the rumble and that
even
bass.
Country nowadays.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Country nowadays, like new country
with a sub sounds way different than on like a paper thin factory stereo.
Oh yeah.
And with like a Fender sound system or whatever. Come on, it's not the same thing.
Even the upgraded factories.
No, man.
Like the sub that comes in this thing is a 6-inch sub. You can only get so much out of it. That's why you said 212s.
Yeah.
It wasn't, a couple of subs. It was 212s. Well, there's a reason why that's such a standard, and it's because of how much output you get. No matter what the power level, you have 212s. Like that's a decent amount of output. And that's what everybody wants. And it's good to see it coming back.
Well, the good thing as well, too, and I'm going to give a plug to Visions because we are at Visions. And it's very important. When you do want to get audio and you want to get audio at a really, really good rate from certified professionals that deal with this every day, Dan or with other installers in your area, find a Visions, come inside, talk to the audio guys. We'll get you set up.
Yeah.
100%. Get it done.
Like you said, like the Hertz system in this thing, it's a small
it's
single.
for you guys, right?
It's a small single 10, built-in amplifier, built-in box.
But it pumps, dude.
It's all the vast majority of people will ever need, and you don't give up too much space.
You can disconnect and put it out.
You can. If you need to go on a road trip,
it's not even a plug for the system. I think what's really nice is to show that like you don't need to spend a lot of money and you don't need to, go all out with crazy setups to have that feeling of bass.
It's about $1,000 fully installed, roughly, in any vehicle. That's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things for what you get.
No, because some of these systems like $20,000, $30,000.
Like my stereo system in my car is 10 times that, and there's just as much bass output in this system.
Well, you could go crazy if you want, but
I didn't want to.
General populace
I didn't want to. I don't need more.
No.
Right? And so mine was based on size and then, going crazy because of show cars and all those kind of things. And my high end sounds better because of aftermarket speakers, DSP, all that kind of stuff.
Right? Yeah.
But bass output wise, I don't have much more than you do because that's all that I need. So like everybody has their own wants and needs, and we're here to try to help.
But I think the biggest problem, sort of like you're in it, and a lot of people are in it. Like the guys that are at the shows are in it. They're in it. But I think the general public, and that's one of the biggest things. Like there's always like with even air suspension, there's a lot of stuff you hear about it on the internet about how it's this and this and this. But a lot of people don't do a lot of research, right? Simple example: I was looking for a lift in order to have in my garage. To store a car, whatever, right? Yeah. Automatically, you're thinking lift. It's got to be like 20, 30,000. Then you start doing research and it's like, man, you can get something installed back in the day for like $5,000.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Same thing. People are like, well, I don't really want to go all out with my system. I have whatever I got with my car. Like I got an upgraded, Fender sound system from Volkswagen. It's probably going to be a lot of money to get into something that's a little bit better. And you do feel a difference. Let me tell you, like bass is one of those things where all of a sudden certain aspects of the music or the sound or even podcasts, you're feeling that feeling. You're feeling more inside of you because that bass translates through the body.
I call it the emotional side of the music.
Exactly.
Right?
But where I'm getting at is a lot of people, I think the general populace thinks that it's very expensive because it can get to very expensive.
Easily.
But these kinds of systems that don't take a lot of input, meaning that don't take a lot of commitment. It's a tiny little box that you can still store your groceries over. Yeah. Not crazy subsystems with the subsystem and everything and the amps from someone that's not really a huge audiophile like yourself. Yeah. It's there enclosed and ready to go, like out of the box. Yeah. So I think it's very important for anyone that wants to get a little bit of a nicer setup, nicer sound. Like, when you listen to your audio system on the way to work and you're like, man, it's missing something.
It's always bass. It's always bass. Every single time it's always bass.
Because it's thin.
I have customers, every different walk of life, different age, different genders, different backgrounds, different races, religions. Everybody comes in and says, I want better sound.
Yeah.
And 95% of them are missing the sub bass. There's a few that want like some really, really, really highs because their hearing's gone, but the vast majority of people want bass. That's what they want.
And not even at the level where it's like, people are afraid because, I'm going to get this bass is going to be too loud. No.
It's going to blow your windows out. It's going to shake the whole house.
It's like air suspension. Your bags are going to blow in the middle of the highway. No, if it's installed right, how our transport truck and transport trailers are not blowing on the side of the highway. It's all how you put in, where you go, you get it installed, and what system you get.
You got to start with something quality.
Right.
And it has to be installed correctly. And you'll be fine.
So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out to whether it's Visions or whether it's whatever.
Anybody.
You don't need a lot of commitment to get so much more of a change. Yeah. And then when you go to concerts, what's the thing you remember out of concerts? Sure, you remember Lady Gaga because I went to Lady Gaga, beautiful voice. Yeah. But you hear the thump and the rumble of the bass.
You feel it.
Right.
Same thing with a club. You go to a club. You go to a nightclub. You feel it.
And that's what gets you going. Factory systems.
They'll never do it.
No, they can't.
They can't. With the way that factory systems are designed, they'll never be able to. Right?
Mass production too.
Size, space, amperage, overall value of it. Like, they're just never going to be able to do what we can do in the aftermarket on the bass side of things. Like, they can nail the highs if they really wanted to.
Sure.
If they really wanted to, they could. But they're kind of like, well, that's good enough, and ship it. But on the bass, they'll never be able to. So I'm always going to have a job because everybody wants it.
Well, there's always going to... If you're good, you have good skills, and you're able to add value, because the value is the big thing. Yeah. People are willing to pay for the value.
It's always a value-based proposition.
Because you want to get something that, and you offer that value. You offer that heightened sound experience, which really makes a difference. When you're on the way on the highway, and you really enjoy music, it's really gonna make you enjoy the music in a different light.
Of course. Like, we live in Toronto. Like, most people's commutes are an hour each way to work. That's a massive amount of your time spent in your car listening to the stereo system.
Yeah.
Probably more than you would ever listen to a home stereo system, or maybe not headphones, because like if you're at the gym for an hour or whatever, maybe headphones a little bit more. But your car is that one situation where you're going to spend a lot of time in. Yeah. Go on a road trip. Like,
give yourself a gift of better sound.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Do it.
Enjoy it.
Even if you know someone in the family that's into like kind of bassy music, give them a gift certificate. Buy them like a $400 speaker box. Yeah. Get it installed. See you later. Perfect gift. I think that's what's been lost in the society. I think what's lost is the fact that people look at, I don't want to get into it because my windows are going to blow. You don't have to go to that level.
Give up space.
Give up space.
No one wants to give up space anymore.
Things have changed now. You don't need huge boxes to get better
And there's
systems.
other things that we can do. Like, there's other options. We can hide things in certain cars. Like, the sky's the limit. Obviously, that's more expensive. That's down the custom side of things.
Of course.
But if that's in your budget and that's something that you want, we can always discuss it. But like, the box that we have in here, like, you can pile things on top of it. You don't have to worry about it. As long as it doesn't get wet. It doesn't really matter what you do.
If you got water in your truck, you got
Much
other
of a
issues,
problem.
man. That's
But like, you can stand on these things.
yeah,
You can be 200 pounds and stand on this thing. No questions asked.
yeah,
You're probably not putting 200 pounds worth of groceries on top of it.
yeah. This particular one I like though, because I went on Amazon, for example, because I was looking for something that's really not a lot of commitment, because it is a brand new car. You know, it's got 9,000 kilometers on it. You don't want to get too committed to something. You don't want to start doing and building it. You want something that, oh, you know what? I need to move a TV for the family or whatever. I need to be able to take it out. I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was looking at some of the systems that are out there on Amazon, and, you know, let's face it, a lot of people will go on Amazon and will look at it because it's so easy and convenient.
Super easy.
I could not find this. And I guess because it's exclusive to Vision.
It's exclusive to us being who we are in Canada. Like we have 43 stores across Canada. We have a good online presence. We're pretty big. And every now and then we get offered some exclusive deals, whether it's TVs, stereos, whatever it ends up being. And this ended up being one of the deals that we were able to do.
Secure.
So we are exclusive on it in the fact of like, you know, somebody can walk off the street and then mark it up $20 and sell it, but it comes through us in some form or fashion, and it allows us to be very aggressive with it most of the time.
I think it's a really good solution.
For $400 retail, like you cannot beat it from anything else that we have.
No,
I'm not saying that there's other options out there that might be louder
options
or smaller or whatever it ends up being, but bang for the buck for a way into getting better sound in your car. It's hard to beat. It's really hard to beat.
It goes really low, man.
It's hard to beat. Right? Single 10, 250 watts. Nothing crazy, but as an entry level point, for a lot of people, it's great.
Not a lot of commitment. You don't have to sign your life away and break your windows and stuff and upset your neighbors.
Even that is really hard to do.
With like heavier duty systems.
Well, if you look at all the systems that were even there today, none of those guys were breaking the window. They were playing at full tilt. Nobody broke a window today.
Yeah. So
like that level is next level.
So if you're a bass head and you miss, you know, the bass and the sound like that, or you just want to get involved, don't want to sound like whatever, but find a Caribbean car show around your area and check it out, or just an audio sound show like
there's a few of them around on the bass side of things.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, Ontario Bass Society is a great group to jump into. There's a few distributors typically around like the Hamilton area that do a bunch of shows down there for some sound competitions. Storm the Fall season closer last year where they did it at the Fireman's Park in Niagara. They did a whole thing. So there's lots of options out there if you want to go and experience some of it. You definitely should. It's something cool. You know, it's something a little bit different than you would see from your regular shows, because it's not about the car. It's about how you feel listening to it.
Yeah.
Right? The highs, the mids, the lows, all of it, it all matters. But if it doesn't have any of those lows, it's just missing something.
No, it is.
It's missing
and then
something.
if it's crazy is you experience bass, and then you go into a car with no bass, you're like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
Can you turn up the bass? Well, it's up, and you're like, I think you need to go see Dad.
But that's the problem, is manufacturers nowadays have cut a lot of the bass out.
Well,
because that's what blows
they don't want to
speakers.
offer you. They want to charge you more for the car, give you like Fender sound system with a subwoofer, but really you're not getting much value because they need to save costs, right?
It's saving
Make
costs.
Profits.
But the big problem they had on the audio side of things was it was bass, and then people going into the radios going bass plus 10, going full volume, was blowing speakers like back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Do they offer upgraded sound systems at dealerships anymore? No. Remember when my dad bought his Honda?
Yeah.
You had like a catalog of Alpine, and this you could pick your deck.
You could do some things.
Speakers and stuff, right?
They don't want us touching the cars in the grand scheme
Not
of things anymore.
Right? Yeah.
Where they've just had so many issues over the years of whoever doing whatever. Even at a dealership level, they don't even want, you to take, your 2-year-old car and have anything done to it, right? So it's became tough in that way, but they don't offer what the customer wants. So what choice does the customer have?
Has to go aftermarket.
They have to at that point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, unless, you're buying like a brand new Porsche that's fully bespoke and you can pick every single thing in it.
Matter.
You still can't pick the audio system. But you still can't pick the audio system.
Absolutely.
You can pick colors and paint and trims and all this kind of stuff.
Not enough.
But nothing on the audio side. What?
But they also have to stay within a certain umbrella. They cannot allow you to do whatever you want in terms of pure customizations because they become liable. They need to train their staff in order to be able to service certain things. So they only will offer like a baseline so they can stay under warranty and stuff like that, right?
Sure. But think of...
The general populace wants more, most of it.
In an ideal world, from my point of view, what would end up happening is similar to what happened with the motors. You would have tuners that could go in, unlock it, and tune the motor slightly differently. If we could do that in a factory audio system side of things, have access to their DSP to be able to change everything, it would be so much better. You wouldn't have to change speakers, do any of that stuff. You'd have to add a sub and tune it. Done.
So, has anyone really tried? Like, did they not care? They don't care?
Well, we'll just sell you a new amplifier that will use as many channels as you needed, and we'll just do it all aftermarket. So it'd be like putting in a Hall Tech for a motor instead of trying to crack the factory.
Just put a different ECU, right?
Yeah, and that's where the industry is, right? Because you don't have companies going in trying to read and understand it all, because it's just not where the industry is. But like, if we ever got to that point, it'd be so amazing.
Imagine, right? Like,
it'd be so amazing.
You could, yeah. Well, maybe somebody can get into it and crack the code.
If anybody's listening that can do it, talk to me.
Yeah, well,
talk to me.
That would be, I'm sure there's going to be someone that's out there that might be able to do it. Now, let's talk about something interesting. Teslas. When they first came out, they were 12 volt. They had a regular kind of a 12 volt battery source. Yeah. And this is off topic, but it's really not because I did not know that the new Teslas have a special lithium battery that's 16 volts.
Yeah.